Amelia Warner shared that she had a happy family before Dakota Johnson came along. Amelia Warner had always believed her life was a piece of music composed in just the right order, a quiet beginning, a stirring chorus, and a satisfying coda. She had everything that made a happy little family possible. A wooden house in the mists of an imaginary Wessex, a garden filled with lilacs, and a home filled with the sound of her favorite piano. In that world, music was Amelia's breath. She was a composer, not the famous kind or the kind that graces magazine covers, but the kind that stays hidden, writing melodies for independent film scripts, small local theater performances, and the occasional lullaby. Beside her was Leon Hartwell, a children's book illustrator with a smile as gentle as the early autumn sun. They met while working on a community art project. From stories about colors, they moved on to discussing music, and finally there was no need to say anything. Just each other's presence. People often say that happiness comes very gently, and it was true. Amelia's happiness came like spring rain falling on the porch. Not too loud, not too dramatic. Just a small piece that she cherished every day, until one afternoon, the incident started with a seemingly harmless phone call. 2. When the curtain opened, that day, Amelia was adjusting some music for a play when Leon ran into the office, holding an invitation letter from the biggest film crew in the area. It was the first time he had been invited to participate in the art design for a large-scale film project. The project's name was Crimson Shadows, a film about love, ambition, and trade-offs in the art world. "Do you think I should accept?" Leon asked, his eyes filled with excitement but also a little worry. Amelia nodded without hesitation. She had always been the one to encourage Leon to pursue the things he loved, even if it meant they would have less time together. She could not have imagined that this was the beginning of a series of days that would change her life forever. Because in that film crew, there was a person named Dakota Johnson, a talented young actress, known for her sharp eyes and free-spirited demeanor. In this fictional story, Dakota entered the project like a brilliant star, bringing with her a light so strong that it dwarfed everything around her. Jamie's first script reading lasted longer than expected. When he returned, his jacket still smelled of stage smoke and a hint of perfume. "Dakota is good," Jamie said as he placed the script on the table. "She has a strong emotional intuition." Amelia smiled. "That's good. Good actors lift you up." Jamie nodded, but there was something in his eyes Amelia had never seen before, not fascination, but surprise, mixed with absorption. She ignored the strange feeling. In the days that followed, Jamie was busier than ever. He was often away from home, sometimes returning after the children were asleep. The evenings listening to music with Amelia, once sacred, became more rare. One night, Amelia stayed up late editing a new song. She looked at the clock. It was around 1 a.m. Jamie hadn't come home yet. When the door opened, he walked in with a gaze more distant than the sky outside. "Dakota and I practiced a difficult scene," he said, without waiting for Amelia to ask. "It had to be rehearsed." Amelia nodded, not objecting, but something quietly tapped in her heart like the crack of a porcelain cup. 4. The wind gets stronger. Dakota began to appear in Jamie's stories more often. Not in a boastful way, but in a way that inserted naturally like breathing. "Dakota has a great perspective." Dakota suggested a change to this scene. "She's very emotional, her acting is spot on." Amelia listened and smiled, but sometimes, her smile was just a thin layer of paint. One day, the film crew organized a poster shoot. Jamie returned with a familiar smile but a strangely sharp gaze. Amelia opened the photo on his phone to see. The poster shows Jamie and Dakota facing each other. The wind blows Dakota's hair, making her look both fragile and dangerous. The look between them in the photo is so harmonious. So soulmate. Amelia doesn't say anything, but that night, she turns on the piano and plays a song so off-key that it makes her stop. 5. Rainy night and unheard dialogue. That day, it rained all afternoon. Amelia picked up the kids, prepared dinner, and waited for Jamie to come home. But he texted that he'd be late. The crew was discussing more emotional scenes. Amelia believed him. She always believed him. While she was cleaning the kitchen, a car flashed on the porch. She thought it was Jamie, so she went to open the door. But Jamie stood next to Dakota, who was smiling softly in the dim light, Jamie's coat draped over her shoulders as if it were the most natural thing in the world. They didn't know Amelia was inside. Dakota spoke in a low, warm voice, "You can't keep avoiding your feelings, Jamie." Amelia's heart clenched. Jamie replied, his voice trembling slightly, "Dakota, things are so confusing. I don't want to hurt anyone." Dakota stepped closer to him. "Pain is something you have to face sometimes." Amelia retreated into the shadows, her hands cold. When Jamie entered the house, he was startled to see that she had heard. But he didn't deny it. No explanation. There was nothing he could say to save the broken glass that had fallen between them. 6. The broken moment. The next day, Jamie packed a small bag. He didn't look at Amelia when he said, "I need time to understand myself." Amelia stood still, holding the edge of the table to keep from falling. "What about family?" she asked. Jamie bowed her head. "I love you. But I'm lost." It was a temporary goodbye, but it hurt like forever. He left the house that had once been a place of laughter. Amelia hugged her children tightly that night. They asked where their father was. She couldn't answer. And inside her, a huge void, as if someone had dug a hole right in her left breast.